Hi, Muffins. This is part of the video series on the planetary effects on us in an astrological way. This will likely be a 9-part series, but I'm going to focus on the top 3 planets that affect us in an astrological way. And that would be the Sun. The Moon is not a planet, but it is this rock that orbits us on Earth. Mercury. These are the planets that tend to affect us a little bit more when they move about in the sky that you and I can't see. The other planets do as well, but not in such a dramatic way. I am going to be reading my notes, so from time to time, from looking at you directly, you're going to see me looking at my notes. So let's dive into this. Now, most of this detail on Mercury retrograde will be featured on the updates in the blog and the website September 2nd. I wanted to wait after the retrograde. I don't know about you, but I have been truly affected by this Mercury retrograde. It ends on August 28th. I will go into a little bit more detail on the duration of Mercury retrograde in this video. So let's dive into it. So first off, let's understand Mercury retrograde and its impact. Mercury retrograde is a term that often sparks curiosity and concern, especially among those in tune to astrological phenomena. So first off, what is it? And why does it seem to have such a profound effect on our lives? What is Mercury retrograde? I hear this a lot. Miss Donna, what is Mercury retrograde? How is it affecting me? Because things just seem wonky. This part of this video is going to be more on the science end and the astronomy end, not astrology end. So as we are on this planet Earth, our other planets that move around us, from time to time, they will have an illusion of stopping, and it gives the illusion that they're moving backwards because we're still moving. So Mercury retrograde occurs when the planet Mercury appears to move backward in its orbit from our perspective on Earth. It's an optical illusion caused by the relative positions and speeds of Earth and Mercury as they travel around the Sun. So despite the planet not actually reversing its course, this apparent backward motion has been associated with a variety of disruptions, particularly in areas that govern Mercury. Now, Mercury is known as the planet of communication, technology, travel, and intellect. So when Mercury goes retrograde, these areas are believed to have thrown into disarray, leading to misunderstandings and technological glitches, travel mishaps, and just general confusion. So these are the main areas that Mercury retrograde tends to impact our lives, and it lasts for 3.5 weeks. Half week is actually the few days before Mercury goes into retrograde, starting to slow down. It's kind of like if you hear in movies, like things are slowing down and you hear mechanical engines like going backwards. Okay. And then when it ends, which for us, August 28th, Mercury is no longer in retrograde, but it has to get moving again. So there's this pause before it starts and after it is about to take off again. It's major glitches. So a couple of key things to keep in mind. The major impact on Mercury retrograde is going to be communication breakdown, technological glitches, travel delays, revisiting the past, which I'm going to go back to in just a few moments, contracts and agreements. So let's talk about revisiting the past. Mercury retrograde is a really great time to pause and reflect. I truly believe in journaling how your life has grown and going back to times where are you repeating a cycle? What can you learn from that? Also, revisiting the past such as old friends that you were connected to, and maybe you're not. And it's very natural during a Mercury retrograde to be revisiting that time. Also, ex partners tend to reappear. If you have those ex partners that you're just like, please don't show up, please don't call, I have blocked you for a reason. It's not uncommon. You get this. Also, unresolved issues could resurface, and you may find yourself revisiting decisions you made in the past. So I encourage you to review and reassess aspects of your life that may need closure or revision. Now let's talk about contracts and agreements. Signing contracts or making significant commitments during a Mercury retrograde is often discouraged. The potential for miscommunication or overlooked details is heightened. So if possible, delay important decisions until the Mercury retrograde is passed. Now, little Mama D wisdom on that. Let's say during this particular Mercury retrograde, which began just at the end of July, mid-August, you bought a car. Great. Did you read the details in the fine print? If you did not, that's okay. The world is not going to stop. Nothing's going to collapse. Your car is not going to blow up. However, I would advise you to go back to that contract about the car that you have purchased or leased. Just read the fine print. You have time with it because it's only been 3 weeks, and every car contract, usually you have a window of opportunity if something is not correct. That's just an example. So, how to navigate Mercury retrogrades? It can feel chaotic. I get that, Muffins. But it's also an opportunity for growth and introspection. So, a few simple tips. Number 1, pause and reflect. Use this time to slow down and reassess your plans and projects. Mama D had to do that several times with this new website and this wonderful passion project that I'm enjoying to share with you. Reflect on past actions and consider how you can move forward more effectively once Mercury goes retrograde. Here is an example. Most of you know that I ran a aesthetic business for 10 years. I was in the beauty and skincare industry for almost 30. And as I start this passion project, I have reflected back to the beginning years of that practice to remind myself it's just getting the ball rolling and take one day at a time, Tom. Double check everything. Another tip. Whether it's an important email or travel itinerary, double check the details to avoid potential mishaps. Number 3, practice patience. Expect delays and miscommunications. Approach them with patience and take a step back if things aren't going as planned, and avoid jumping to conclusions. I can do that. It would shock you, but Mama D can totally jump to conclusions easily. I have to remind myself, don't be jumping to conclusions. And embrace the retrograde. Instead of fearing a Mercury retrograde, see it as a chance to review, revise, and recalibrate. It's a time for second chances and do-overs. So embrace the opportunity to revisit and improve. So that's pretty much about it. I know I could have done this Mercury retrograde video before it came to us. If I was trying to do that and trying to launch it during the start of a Mercury retrograde, I have no idea how many glitches I would have suffered. So yes, I waited towards this final stage of the Mercury retrograde. During Mercury retrogrades, you can also feel in a state of mental fog, confusion, misinterpreting things. So it's okay to say, could you repeat what you just stated in a work setting? In a personal setting, I'm not sure what I just heard. Could you just say that again? So I hope this gives you a little bit of wisdom on Mercury retrogrades, because they've definitely, this one has definitely affected me during the month of August. So remember, Mama D loves you. Remember to do things that fulfill your mind, body, and soul. And I'll talk to you soon.